everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we learned how to create and manage databases. Today we will create our first table and understand the different types of data that is available in PostgreSQL. Now what is a table? A table uh, is simply a structure that contains rows and columns. The rows contain the data and the columns define the structure. Now let us connect to our database that we have created earlier, which was student DB. So I'll give a slash, then I'll type student underscore DB. So now I'm connected to the table. Now I will see whether I have any table or not already existing. So no, I don't have any table. Now let us discuss some data types that we can store in this. First one is integer, that stores whole number. Then we have varchar, that stores data. Then we have text, that stores long text. Then boolean, which stores true or false. Date, we all know the date in the format YY, MM and then DT. Then we have the timestamp, and now let us understand how we can create the table. So for that we are going to type the command create table. Suppose the name of the table I want as students. Then I will define the ID. So ID is of type integer, comma I want a name, which is obviously a varchar. It's a text. I will give the size in bracket, which is 100. Then I will go for age, which is an integer again. Then I will go for city, which is a varchar again, maybe of the size lesser, 50. That's it, and I will put the semicolon. So our table is created. Now we will verify whether our table is created or not. So yes, see, under schema public we have a table with the name students and the type is table and the owner is Postgres, since I am the super user. Now I want to create another table, say suppose. So I will type create table. In the same database we are creating another table, employees, with the attribute, say suppose employee ID, which is an integer, employee name, which is a varchar, salary, which is numeric, then we can have department, the data type will be varchar, which is 50. Then we can have the joining date, where we can implement the date. Then is active or not, this can be a boolean, so I will use boolean over here and close. Let me just see whether it's correct or not. Boolean, yes, semicolon. So again I will check whether it's created or not. Yes, now we have two tables, both are public, and one is them students and the other one is employees. Very good till now. Now, what is numeric? I have mentioned something called numeric 10, 2. Now, 10 is the total digits. There can be a salary of a person which has, say suppose 10 digits, and after the decimal point we can have 2 more digits. For that reason I have mentioned like this. Say suppose 90,000 dot 50, like this. Now suppose I want to rename the table. How I can do? The command is alter table. What is the table name? Existing students, and I want it to rename to student details. Table is altered. We will verify again. See, student is now renamed to student. Now I want to drop this table, so the command is same as database. It was drop database and the database name. Here it's drop table and then the table name. So the table name is now student details. I will write that and I'll put a semicolon. So our table is dropped. Let us see if we want to drop this one as well. Let us check whether both the tables are equal. See, did not find any tables. So what did we learn in today's video? We learned how to create a table, how to alter a table, that means how to rename a table, and how to drop a table. Now your homework will be to create a table yourself with books and customers and add attributes it along with the data types and size. And if we talk about some interview questions, then we can have like what is the difference between a database and a table? What is the difference between varchar and text? What does numeric do? Which command is used to display a table structure? What is the difference between drop and delete? You can have these sort of questions. So that's it for today, and we will be meeting in the next one. Thank you.